The following program is intended for mature audiences.
TBS, America's #1 independent television network, presents the following sports exclusive.
You're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports.
Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.
And check out every episode of the show at basicallysports.tumblr.com.
Now here's your hosts, Zach,
Greg, Mike.
And you're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
We're going to do an NBA preview the only way we know how, which is to probably talk about the uniforms.
In the North.
Yeah, Mike's defending world champion Toronto Raptors.
The reigning, defending NBA champions of the world.
That's right.
As the banner says, world champions.
The banner says world champions. And you know what? They can justify it because they're not in America.
That's true.
Also, I hate the rings.
I was so disappointed in the rings. I'm like, that logo, the primary logo would make a great ring. And they go with the North thing. It's like, are you serious?
Yeah, I think Drake made his own personal ring that has the Raptors logo in it. That actually looks pretty good. But yeah,
I like the banner. The banner looks nice. It's not tacky or anything. So
yeah. And I guess the only other thing to note about the NBA season, as we know, is Los Angeles back to being the center of the basketball world. And not just the Lakers, it's somehow the Clippers. And this is the stupid reality that we live in.
Zach, it's going to be okay. They're going to lose to the Jazz after blowing a 2-game-0 lead.
I can't wait. It's going to be the best.
And Kawhi Leonard's entire leg is going to explode, and that'll be that.
Yeah, I can't wait. It'll be a good time, and we'll all have fun. And
because again,
when that happens,
let's just go over this. This will be like the last bit of actual NBA discussion involving on-court action. But they've got to. The Clippers have 2 seasons to win with.
No,
Paul
they have
George.
one.
They have one.
They have one.
They have, so they got to do it with Paul George and Kawhi, because if they don't,
as far as I know, they've got to do it right freaking now.
That ain't happening.
Because they gave up all of their draft picks for the next decade.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry, but you're right, Mike. Somewhere along the way, I don't know where it'll be in the playoffs. They'll blow it. Denver will knock them out, or
it's going to happen.
Portland.
It's going to happen to some team punching way above their weight.
Yep.
And
how great would it be if it was the Warriors? They get in as an 8 seed and knock them off. That'd be pretty funny.
But anyway, onto the
uniforms,
because it's amazing.
As Greg said, it's really the only way we know how to do this. As our roots.
Yeah, I think Philadelphia might be pretty good. That much I know. So there you go. Yeah.
And because of the NBA's stupid deal with Nike, we have 105 of these things to talk about.
Oh, my God.
So that's actually not an exaggeration as far as I know.
I don't know the actual number, but it's too many.
I bet you it's close. If it's not 105, which I totally believed, I thought, that sounds right.
Here's as I read it to Mike already, this pretty much explains our collective thoughts on the NBA as a whole right now when it comes to their aesthetic, right? So opening night, Timberwolves public relations Twitter puts out a tweet saying the T-Wolves will be wearing their icon jerseys tonight. Mike said, don't know what the fuck that means. I didn't either. And that was funny because the tweet that UniWatch in their preview here quoted is from an account called Angry Bob, where the avatar is that angry red faced emoji that says, "I have no idea whether this means the T-Wolves will be wearing blue, white, black, lime green, purple, or any other color." And that's funny, of course, because they've literally worn all those colors. So here we are with the NBA in 2019 and Nike's, I don't even know what to call it, their philosophy, their game plan, mantra. It's gross.
It's what they do. If one is good, 25 must be 25 times better. And as we all know, that's not always the case.
These kind of UniWatch has these things how we're going to go here because it's all nicely organized.
Yeah.
Atlantic Division, Boston Celtics. The preview doesn't have anything, but it came out today. A leak of their, what is this, the city jersey, Mike? Icon statement? Which one is it?
Mike?
Oh, sorry about that. I had myself muted for some reason. City. It is the city jersey.
You sure about
City
that?
jersey.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a city. That's what the mothership said, although they could have gotten it wrong. It's easy to be confused with these things.
It is, when you think of the Boston Celtics, you think of a classic NBA franchise. You know, you think of the white, the green, some block numbers, some block letters, maybe a stripe. That's about it.
A really classic look. I mean, a great basketball uniform. As much as I hate that team, that's a great look.
So these ones that they've decided to trot out are green, which is a good start. But the collars and armpits and numbers and letters are all gold with, I think, like a navy blue outline. Is that right? And they're using like that just kind of hackneyed Irish, quote unquote, font.
I think, this is like Comic Sans dressed up a little bit.
It's on the side of every Irish pub in the United States of America.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I lived right across from an Irish pub when I was living in London, Ontario, going to school, called Molly Bloom's, and I'm pretty sure that's the font that they had on their signage.
Yeah, and like Zach said, every Irish pub in America has one of these fonts. Yeah, they're horrible. That's simple as that. They look stupid, and I'm going to bet that's not the last time we say something like that as we go through these.
Yeah,
to me, it just looks so cartoony Ireland. Like, not real Irish. It looks stereotypical, borderline offensive.
We talk about Walmart jerseys. This is a 7-Eleven jersey.
If that.
This is something that you would find in a Boston 7-Eleven because they don't have the rights to make a Celtics jersey, but the Celtics are Irish, so they make a green jersey with the Irish Celtic font that says Boston.
I'm going to go you one better than this. I'm going to say this is a flea market counterfeit. This is what this is. That's what you would find at a flea market where they're like, this looks close. Let's sell it. It's a flea market jersey. It's terrible.
These are going to be big in Southie and nowhere else in Boston.
Well, here's my thing, and I don't know if this is what they were going for or not, but these jerseys look like they were something from 1958 that they found in a closet somewhere. I mean, not the font and all that, but just the way they look. They look really, really, really old. And maybe that's what they were going for. I don't know, but that's what they look like.
I think the lighting is hurting that a little bit in that leak photo. But
yeah,
probably not. Next up was the Brooklyn Nets, and their statement jersey is graffiti inspired. It's gray and with what it's similar to a style you would find spray painted on an underpass in Brooklyn,
sure,
where it says BKLYN. The stars are like the stars on the side, like it's kind of like the old Nets style where there's stars on the side, but they're not stars. They look more like the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say stick figures, but yeah, the Blair Witch Project.
I'm not sure what these are supposed to be.
They're stars. They're like asterisks almost.
You know what the font reminds me of? Do you guys know that animated band Gorillaz? That's what this reminds me of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's gray, and then with all these graffiti elements, they still use the basic Nets, like, I don't even know what you call it, almost copper plate, almost agency-looking number font.
Yep.
That looks completely out of place with everything.
Right, so. Yeah. It's like you've got this whole graffiti thing going, and it's like, we'll slap on these iron-on numbers that we found, in the third row of numbers, or the third drawer of numbers we have here at the silk screening place.
Yeah. Again, this is great on a T-shirt, maybe. I don't think it's NBA jersey worthy.
No.
I just don't. Okay, I have a thing about uniforms that don't use that use abbreviations or alternate names, and like I understand that this ultimately is shorthand for Brooklyn, but I don't know. Spell out Brooklyn. The one thing I hate about the Raptors winning the championship was that they won it wearing the North jerseys instead of one that said either Toronto or Raptors. And so, yeah, I'm not a fan of this. I don't like the Blair Witch graffiti stars. I think if you want to do an homage to the old ABA look, do it. The graffiti look, I don't know. You'll get people saying, "Oh, they captured like the heart of Brooklyn," but like, is Brooklyn even that anymore? Isn't Brooklyn pretty gentrified? Like,
well, not only that, but is that really what you're going to hang your hat on if you're Brooklyn is graffiti? Mm-hmm. I mean, come on.
Well, I think in a vacuum, it's kind of cool. Like if it was used for branding, if it was used for, graphic art or like what you're going to put on graphics and the scoreboard and all that, I think that's a cool idea and maybe something you put on some T-shirts or whatever with the Nets logo incorporated somewhere to represent what you're
right.
The team still. It's not. This is at best a fashion jersey. Like this is the problem that we have with the NBA now is that in the past, the jerseys like this have been made in every sport, but they were fashion jerseys. Mm-hmm. Nike has determined that fashion jerseys can be worn on the court to then advertise them to be bought. And so that's why we're doing what we're doing now, essentially.
Isn't Nike also determining what teams wear what when?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
They got the schedule, so.
Yeah, sorry. That's a bridge too far for me. For
the other jersey the other jersey the Nets are going to have this year. Last year they had the black uniform with like they call it a Coogie pattern. Biggie Smalls was famous for wearing it.
Yep.
Didn't they get sued?
Yeah, but now they're wearing a white version of that jersey this year with the Coogie pattern on side panels and the collar.
That's the only thing that could...
or maybe not.
Or maybe they just didn't care.
Couldn't tell. If you scroll down, I think the best thing the Nets have done, I love their new court design this year with kind of the playing up the subway aesthetics with the font on the end lines and kind of
that's cool. That does look cool. Yeah, I agree.
It's a very nice court.
There are elements of the Nets' identity that I like. I just don't care for the logos or some of their uniform choices, but I think there's enough there to make something cool.
If you're going to use if you're going to go with a font that represents Brooklyn, I think the subway stuff, that's the way you want to go. If you really want to get to the heart of it, that's it. Not the graffiti. I mean, like Zach said, the graffiti make a cool T-shirt, but as a uniform, I'm sorry, but that's just it's too much. And
their big city brethren, the New York Knicks, they have a new statement jersey where they said they're making a statement. The statement is not here that they're not here to ball. We're here to battle.
Okay.
And you're still going to lose 65 games.
It's basically just a blue Knicks jersey where the font is white with an orange outline. That's pretty much it.
This is so weird. It because it is so close to their standard road look.
Yeah.
But it's almost the standard road look, only the blue and orange have been reversed, and so it's white. So it's blue with like white elements outlined in orange instead of blue with orange elements outlined in white, and it's so close that it looks like a knockoff because it's so much what they already have, only it's not. I don't understand what they're going for. I mean,
you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of a Sixers jersey.
I would say that like the New York Knicks are probably one of those teams that only needs two uniforms. You really only need the home and road look, which is why this whole system that Nike has is stupid, because teams like the Celtics or the Knicks or the Lakers, for that matter, should only have two jerseys.
Yeah.
But this forces at least four onto everyone. So you start going like, well, what should the Knicks – what are the Knicks special jerseys going to be? And, they really shouldn't have one, but they have to have one. So
yeah. Well, I think an example of that can be shown with the next team here, the Sixers.
Mm-hmm.
So one of their jerseys is a throwback, and as we'll go through, a lot of the best looks in the league this year are throwback looks.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna say, yeah. I was gonna say that out of all the uniforms unveiled over the off season, all of the good ones are throwbacks.
Yeah, what does that tell you?
This first one is, I guess it's a throwback to the 70s. It's white with, a red cursive font that says Sixers, but then above the Sixers in a smaller font to connect with the big S is 70. So it's
I
70
love
Sixers.
this.
It's super kitschy. I'm not a big fan, but it's a throwback, so I can't really
Well, yeah, it is.
Guys,
it is a throwback.
Is it truly a throwback? Because I don't remember these. I don't remember ever seeing these.
No, these are throwbacks. I don't have the picture on hand, but if you scroll through the NBA thread when these were first unveiled, you can see that people posting team photos of the time, and yeah, they wore these.
Okay, I just don't remember
it looks like
them.
one of those things where, like many old time uniforms, where the Sixers was on there first, and then somebody said, "Oh, we're not just the Sixers though; we're the 76ers." So somebody just had like a spool of red thread around and tacked on the
I kind of like it because it's so kind of awkward, and again, it is accurate. So that is what it is. But I don't know, it's got charm to it. So
it's not as bad as the Brooklyn or the Boston jerseys. I'll give it that.
But to speak to the point I was talking about earlier, where some of these teams are forced into these alternates, look no further than their red alternate, which is literally the same red alternate they had last year, except last year it said Sixers. Now it says Phila.
Yeah.
It's literally the same thing. They just changed the name on the front.
And back in the good old days before this madness, they would have just kept the old one. They would have just been like, yeah, this is our alternate and we like it, so we're going to keep it for another year. But because they've got to move into this whole thing that Nike's forced them into where we have a new uniform every season, they changed the word mark.
Yep.
And
again, to speak to these things just kind of coming and going, unveils in the NBA are much different now than they used to be, where like unveiling a new uniform is a big deal usually, but now you get a situation like with the next uniform, the blue alternate they have, which is pretty much the red uniform except blue, and it says Philadelphia across the front in white text. Like these jerseys just show up.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not even leaks where it's like, oh, somebody opened up a box early at a Dick's Sporting Goods. It's like, no, they're just on display. We just haven't had a press conference about them yet. But these are your –
because
okay.
Because it used to be that when you changed uniforms or introduced a new alternate, it was an event. But now it's literally shuffling old stock in for new stock.
Yeah. And it's weird because they still do big unveils in Europe, even though they do for soccer jerseys, even though they have new uniforms every year, every 2 years. But the NBA is just kind of like, yeah, these are jerseys, buy them, please. It's like, all right. So I think that's it on the Sixers front. They look good. They're one of the better looking teams in the league overall when it comes to.
I think they're another team though.
Since the rebrand.
I think another team though that like if you like Mike talked about the Knicks and the Lakers and Celtics. The Sixers could get by just fine on a home and a road uniform, and I'll even allow them a blue alternate, like from the Dr. J era uniforms, and that's all they need, But
they seem to have finally got rid of the Rocky inspired alternate, so that's nice.
God, that was terrible. The defending NBA champion, Toronto Raptors,
world champion.
There's nothing truly new going on here, which is interesting. They've added the championship tag on the collar. So welcome to this stupid club the NBA created. And they're using the white throwbacks this year instead of the purple with the dinosaur on the front. So that's fun.
Yeah, I think that's the only change is that they've swapped out throwbacks.
Yep. And the sponsor on the front has a new logo, but that's not theirs. So
what, Sun Life? Yeah.
Yeah. This is interesting at the bottom of the Raptors part. Drake supposedly wants to be the team's next uniform advertiser once their sponsorship with Sun Life goes out. So look for Drake's owl to show up on the front of the jerseys at some point.
I actually don't mind Sun Life. as a sponsor because they're a very reputable company. They're a life insurance company in Ontario, for those who don't know. And so, like, I don't know. I like that it's a Canadian company. I like that it's one that has a pretty good reputation and isn't.
Mike, is it really a Canadian company? I see no maple leaf next to the.
No, when I was living in Kitchener, just before I moved down to Florida, I passed the Sun Life building in Kitchener on the way.
I know. I just love that there's Subway Canada, just Subway with a maple leaf.
Well, you know,
McDonald's Canada with McDonald's with a maple leaf.
But I don't know. Like, on the other hand, though, what I was getting at is that if they go with Drake, like that would almost be preferable in a way, because Drake's logo is on so much Raptors shit as is. It would almost just be like an alternate logo, honestly.
Into the Central Division, the Chicago Bulls are bringing like a classic, really. The black with the pinstripes is their new alternate this year.
Which again looks good and furthers the narrative that the best unveils so far have been throwbacks. And I know this isn't a straight throwback, but it practically is.
Yeah, the pinstripes are not red; they're silver, but still. It's not.
It's a good looking jersey. Yeah.
It's still practically the same from the alternate from the MJ years. So,
yeah.
50
yeah.
seasons.
Your Cleveland Cavaliers, Greg. 50 years.
Yeah.
How will you celebrate?
Well, I probably been watching them win 19 games this year.
How many land jerseys can we send you in celebration of 50 years?
Oh, the more the merrier. I mean, just pile them on me. I'll take them all. I'll take every one. I found one at a TJ Maxx, and I'm like, I need to buy this, but they still wanted like $80 for it. I said, there is no way.
Oh, come on! If it's what is TJ Maxx doing, charging $80 for? If it was
like $80 new.
It was. I think it was. Aren't the game jerseys more? It was an actual legit game jersey. It wasn't like a knockoff.
My argument is that if it made it to TJ Maxx, that should be no more than $40.
Yeah, I bought an Indians blue alternate replica for like $8 the other day. It's like, really? Come on.
But the jersey the land is bringing back are the 90s wave jerseys with the light blue.
We call them the party popper jerseys. You know, those little things.
What do you think of those?
I think they're horrible. I hated them then. I hate them now. There are so many good throwbacks, but they've used them all up. I mean, this was the only one they hadn't done yet.
That is true.
90s nostalgia is all the rage, though. They're not the only team bringing back their 90s look this year, as we saw with the Bulls just a second ago and the Raptors too. So it's just part of you got to ride the wave, Greg.
I mean, we are entering that period, and I say this as someone who both grew up with the 90s looks and now realizes how tacky they are. But we are entering the period where that 80s nostalgia boom is going to shift into a 90s nostalgia boom.
Oh, yeah, no question about
it. We're already in it.
Yeah.
So, which I know board regular Morgo was saying, no, we're not. But, yeah, dude, we are.
The one that will really hurt me is when we go into the 2000s nostalgia boom.
Oh, God, yeah.
Back like, Reebok Edge jerseys as throwbacks.
When the Colorado Avalanche fans start getting nostalgic for the catalog templated like apron stripes.
Yeah, see, but I don't get this because for all the 70s nostalgia for like baseball uniforms and stuff, I didn't like the ugly uniforms back then, and I still don't like them.
Well, no. I mean, Zach and I.
It's what you grew up with.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, I grew up with the White Sox and those horrible. First, the ones with the collars and the shorts, and then the ones they wear on Sundays now with the big red softball jersey look, and I think they look stupid.
I still don't know who thought shorts on a baseball uniform was a good idea.
Bill Veeck, that's who thought it was a good idea.
He never slid into a base?
Well, that's the thing. I think they wore those things once. Okay, go ahead.
Next up on the list is the Pistons. No, nothing announced, but I know there's a rumor for another. I believe it's a blue Motor City jersey.
I've also heard rumors that they might start jumping in on the 90s boom and wear a teal throwback because
the horse hat and all that.
Some of their players have been spotted wearing like the throwback teal shorts, and people aren't sure if that's like indicative of a change or if like they just like them and bought them.
Again, I know we're in the 90s nostalgia boom, but I think that's even a step too far. Like those are bad.
The teal Pistons uniforms was one of those like ones where they realized it was a mistake almost as soon as they did it, and they went back as soon as they were able.
Yeah.
And the basketball gods rewarded them. They're like, okay, you went back to red, white, and blue. Here, have a championship.
Right, out of nowhere. I was like, what? Wait, the Pistons are champions? How'd that happen? But, those Horsehead jerseys were just awful. Just awful.
The Pacers have a new statement jersey that I can't make heads or tails of what the hell it actually is doing.
I think it's supposed to be a FloJo thing.
I thought it was like a cornfield or something.
What it is it's yellow, and then from, I guess, the right armpit, there's a diagonal blue stripe. And on the other side of that blue stripe is a white field with varying gray lines.
So I thought there was supposed to be sunbeams or something like that off the cornfield. I thought we read that before. Way back.
No. The gray lines are it ties in with one of their alternate logos that they've got, where they use these various lines to represent like the sun rising over a cornfield.
Right, yeah.
God.
And that logo, by the way, that I'm referencing, it's an alternate logo they have. It's that design in a circle in a roundel, and then around it in curved text it says like "We grow basketball" or something.
Yeah. Leave it to the NBA. Leave it to Nike and the NBA to fuck up a roundel.
And I believe they're still wearing the Hoosiers jerseys.
They are
the Hickory High jerseys.
Which again, it's
NBA.
a problem. It's a problem. And this might be jumping ahead a bit, but I just wanted to say this. Like, it seems like the city NBA jersey initiative started when the Miami Heat had an idea for a really cool alternate that was Miami Vice themed. And I love that look. It's fantastic. But it seems like Nike looked at that and said, oh, man, we should do that for every team. Well, imagine if every team had like a city-themed jersey. Only, Miami is a pretty, iconic place. You can't really do that for everyone. And the result is that the Indiana Pacers have to dress like a make-believe high school.
Like, could you imagine the Detroit Pistons coming out in like Flint Tropics jerseys?
I was going to say the Washington Redskins and like the what were they called, the Sentinels and the replacements?
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on. It's just
like
when we were off air, I compared it to the Mighty Ducks, but as I think about it more, that would actually be okay to some extent because the team kind of came out of that,
right?
And the same company and all that sort of stuff. This is literally two things that have nothing to do with each other, other than they're both in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of other like fictional teams. The Flint Tropics is a good one.
If the Yankees wore a New York Knights uniform.
Yeah, from the Natural.
The Yankees won't do that. I could see the Mets doing it. I'm not even kidding. I could see that happening. So it's not that far off. Somebody in MLB is going to go, wait a minute, look at, they're wearing the Hickory, Hoosiers jerseys or whatever, the Huskers. We could do that. We could wear New York Knights or
the Durham Bulls do it every day. Moving on to the Milwaukee Bucks, their new alternate is kind of a combination of a couple things. It's black, like their black uniform from before. It has the deer head in the front, like the black one did, and they brought back what they call the Cream City Rainbow on the front of it.
Is that what that is?
Where'd the blue come from? Was that part of the Sidney Moncrief era, like the Marquette uniforms?
The Bucks added blue highlights to everything back when they unveiled their current identity. It's supposed to represent the shores of the Great Lakes.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Who would even think of that? I mean, come on.
Nike
the best thing about this jersey is the Harley-Davidson patch on it. That's it. The rest of it sucks.
They're one of those teams that does the logo straight in the middle, and we'll get a few of these in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not a good basketball look.
No.
Basketball jerseys aren't meant for logos on the front. Like, it's just it's not how it works. It's a fine idea for a T-shirt. Does not work on a basketball tank top. It just
no. Like I said, the best, and now I'm looking at the other 3 jerseys or however many. Yeah. And like I said, the best thing about them is the Harley Davidson patch. This is because I ride a Harley. The rest of it, it's just bad. Oh God,
yeah, not very good. Next up, the Atlanta Hawks. I don't think there's anything too big going on here. Nothing that's in here.
They have a peach. They have a peach-colored court.
Oh, for God's sake!
Because Georgia
Peachtree. Oh, the Peachtree district in Atlanta too. Don't forget that.
Yeah. I can't. I don't think there's any rumored peach jersey coming on. But
no, I don't think there is either.
So we'll just move on to the Charlotte Hornets. And I saw these in a highlight the other day, and I just I can't. So we do these things where like the team abbreviates the city, the PHX or NYC or whatever the hell you
the
want
land.
ATL, the land. Charlotte, their city abbreviation is CHA, which if you say it's CHA, sure, you understand it's an abbreviation. But when you just put it in all capital letters on the front of a jersey all next to each other, I can't help but just look and see CHA.
CHA.
Yeah, and you know what CHA is in the South, boys? It's chewing tobacco.
Oh.
So if you're from that area and you say CHA, that's what you think of.
So these jerseys they're purple with a teal, accents on the collars and stuff, and teal number, and then big white letters on the front that say CHA.
CHA.
Their other alternate is a throwback it's again purple with the pinstripes that are only on the top of the jersey. I don't understand why.
Well, that is accurate.
Never expanded. I know it's accurate, but why did they not put them on the pin?
Well, here's what I want to know. Why
they were an expansion team. They couldn't afford to have the pinstripes sewn into the.
It's a Colorado Avalanche situation where they have to wear black gloves forever because
they couldn't afford.
Equipment didn't get there on time. Yeah.
Right.
Why are they throwing back to old New Orleans Pelicans jerseys anyway? I don't get this. I get this. I am so confused about the history of this fucking team. It's like I don't even understand what's going on anymore.
Just wait until they bust out a Bobcats throwback one of these days.
You know what? I welcome it. This has been such a botched return to the Hornets name because okay, the throwbacks look halfway decent because the original Hornets were a pretty good-looking team, so that's fine. But now when they actually have to do their own designs, you get shit where it just says CHA. So this Hornets rebrand has been so abysmal. Bring back the Bobcats.
Is there even a Hornet on that CHA jersey now that I'm looking at it?
No,
it's on the waistband. On the waistband.
On the waistband, yeah.
Oh, and according to the Nike speak on their website,
this ought to be good.
Underneath the arms there are two tapered teal stripes that taper to a point down the sides of the jersey.
Oh no.
These represent the stinging stripe.
Oh God.
Dear Lord.
So yeah.
I'm waiting for the day when they just come and go, here's a uniform, we thought it looked cool. That's it.
Here you go, because you want a uniform that just is there and looks cool. Next up, Miami Heat. They're continuing the Miami Vice themed uniforms. We started it with black, then they did one in white, they did one in pink last year, and now we're moving on to the baby blue version of this with baby blue, white number, white name, white text. Outlined in pink with pink, black, and white accents on the collars. Brilliant. They're so good.
The Heat need to rebrand to Miami Vice full time.
Yeah, this isn't 100%. Bad. They got the whole pastel thing going on, like the show did, and all that, and that's cool.
Every single one of these jerseys has worked. Every single one, and I know they sell well in Miami. My buddy's a Heat fan. I went to go buy last year's as a Christmas present. Because I got them in Secret Santa or whatever, and I went to go get it the day they came out, and the damn thing's nearly sold out, all over the place on their online store. So people love them. They're hits. I know they won 2 titles in the black and red, and there's so much history, but this is almost too good of a look to pass up.
This is brilliant. I love that Miami ward mark. They need to go to this.
Yeah,
they just need to go to this.
They've won 3 titles in the red and black, by the way.
3, that's right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yep.
Everyone forgets the pre-LeBron one, but
no, I was putting one to the pre-LeBron. I was putting one with LeBron. I forgot that they won 2 with LeBron. Not 7, not 8, not 9, but 2.
Yeah, 2's still pretty good.
Next up is the Orlando Magic.
We talked about these when they were unveiled on the show.
Yeah, they're blue, and they're alluding to those black pinstripe uniforms of old in a small rectangle on the side.
I don't get this.
That looks so stupid. It's like let's throw a patch from the old uniform on here because it had a hole in it. They sewed it over it.
I don't get this. Where it's just like, yeah, we have a block of black pinstripes right here.
If you're gonna do it, do it.
Do it right.
Or at least do it where it's like maybe have like a black side panel that goes down the side of the jerseys that have pinstripes within it. But no, this is just like it's like a patch of black fabric.
To quote one of the greatest,
they do almost the same thing on the pants where it does kind of go all the way around as a stripe, but that doesn't look any better, really.
To quote one of the greatest TV shows of all time, no half measures. Either do it or don't. And this is a complete half measure. God. All right.
Truly. They have an orange and black court that's been leaked somewhere. So as they play in Orange County, Florida, they might be getting some Orange County-inspired alts.
There is a rumor that they're going to have orange alternates.
I don't care for that.
No, not really.
Like, I know we praised the Miami Heat uniforms that we were just talking about, but generally speaking, I don't like these teams. Again, this is something we're seeing in Nike where these teams just reach out and make these weird uniform decisions that where there's no relatability to the brand at any point in their history. And so it's stupid. I hate that.
The Wizards up next. Well,
Nothing
it happened.
Yeah.
They replaced the Washington word mark on their alternate, I think, or their statement, whatever that means, with a word mark that says the District of Columbia.
Thanks for that. We weren't sure where you were. We couldn't decide if you were in the state of Washington or the city. So that's good. We know now.
But again, this makes us we're ever closer to the Bay versus the land versus the district versus the North.
We can only hope. We can only hope.
Come on, let's get this going.
Yeah. I think they've worn these district jerseys in different forms before.
I think they have.
I don't. Okay. This is again an example of you're wearing the same jersey with a different word on the front.
Yeah.
You know who started this stupid trend? Do you remember when the Clippers were changing over?
Yes.
And they just slapped a new word mark on the same things they've been wearing for like 7 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Somebody allowed them the rest of the league to think that was okay, and unfortunately, people continue to buy the jerseys, and here we are.
Damn it, Clippers! I fucking knew that we could.
Everything bad in basketball can trace it back to the Clippers somehow. I promise.
Sure.
It's the 6 degrees of the Clippers. That's what it is.
Sure, I believe it.
Yep.
We move over to the West. Denver Nuggets, nothing to really report on. They changed the logo a little bit.
The sponsor logo changed, yeah.
Yeah, the sponsor logo, I should say. Minnesota Timberwolves, nothing there, and nothing that I can think of being rumored.
So let me back up a second here. So the Timberwolves, who are wearing the same uniforms from last year, and one of their fans goes, I still don't know what the fuck it means. A year later. What does that tell you? A year later.
Are they still wearing the Purple Rain jerseys?
I thought all these city jerseys are supposed to have like a 1-year lifespan.
I don't know.
I don't know. I legitimately don't know. Like I could turn on the game and they could be wearing it, and I wouldn't be able to tell you why.
Oh, and Oklahoma City.
Oh yeah, did we talk about these?
No,
already?
we kept saying we were going to, and we kept kicking it down the road until eventually this happened.
So here we are. The regular jerseys. Again, all they literally did was flip the names on the traditional home and road uniforms. The white jerseys now say Oklahoma City. The blue jerseys now say Thunder. Stupid.
And then, of course,
their alternate is orange and says OKC. Again, they wore an orange alternate last year. Now, instead of it being navy blue, it's royal blue. It's the same stupid thing.
This is almost like Malibu Stacy with a new hat level.
And then we get to
this is really something.
The weird one.
What is this one officially called?
This is the city uniform.
This is the
city uniform. It's black and gold with white letters and numbers. It is a tribute to the 1995 Oklahoma City bombing.
Oh, there's something you want to remind people of.
It's the 25th anniversary.
Isn't this the one that has like the number of dead and the date like sewn into the sides?
Oh,
yeah.
no.
So the whole design is based off of the monument that they have there to the victims of the bombing, which I guess I think it's something called the Eternal Gate. Does that sound right?
I'm not sure.
Anyway, so what it is because the whole thing took place in a span of like a minute, right? So one end of the gate is like 9:58, and the other side of the gate is 10 o'clock. And then so the minute in between is when it happened. So either side of the waistband has the two timestamps. And then there's instead of it just being a gold stripe on the side, it is a gold. It's supposed to look like the gate at the bottom.
It's like an arch.
It's a big squared off arch.
You know what, guys? This thing is more tasteless than the joke I edited out of the show earlier. I'm dead serious. This to me is offensive as hell.
It really is.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
It's just so.
I understand wanting to honor the people.
I do too. I completely get it.
You know how you do that? You tag a ribbon on your jersey.
Yep.
You make
a patch.
You don't make a whole uniform and then fucking sell it.
This would almost be honorable if they were like, we're gonna give like every penny we make selling these jerseys, we're gonna give to like a charity devoted to like helping the survivors' family,
right?
Like the survivors or the families of the victims, something like that. But they're not gonna.
No, I really do think these things are offensive. This is so wrong in so many different directions. I don't even know what to say about it.
And they've got a random tree on the waistband.
The tree is part of the memorial, I believe.
Yeah, it's a survivor tree or whatever.
Yeah, it's the tree. It's like of the bombing. It's still there. So they say as part of the Thunder's partnership with the Oklahoma City National Memorial Museum, the team will underwrite a permanent exhibit which will emphasize and highlight examples of the Oklahoma standard and provide valuable learning tools, blah, blah, blah. Design. The tree, which is a 90-year-old American elm on the side of the memorial. Our partnership, the city edition. It doesn't say anything about.
Everything about this is weird and off-putting.
Yeah, I think it's. I really do think it's offensive.
Like,
you guys don't remember this bombing. I remember. It happened a day before my birthday. I remember I was driving home from New York when I heard about it on the radio. And for a basketball team, this is so fucking. I don't even know what word to use, but this is just so wrong.
Could you imagine the Knicks putting out 9/11 jerseys?
No.
With like the Twin Towers on either fucking side of the jersey.
No, it would be awful, and this is awful. I'm sorry. I think their heart's in the right place, but wow, is this really bad execution? Like you said, a patch would have been perfect. The whole
thing to me is just weird and off-putting.
Yeah, right, exactly. It's just, and then to top it off, you got a fucking gas station logo on it.
Yeah, that's the other part that I hate too. Is not only do you make these jerseys, but you still leave the sponsor patch on it.
Right. Yeah. This is just some bad stuff. Bad. I don't even know what to say about it. I just find it offensive. It's like, nice idea. Really, really bad execution. I don't even know where to go from there. It's just a horrible execution.
They've literally put the jersey up in this exhibit at the memorial as like a tribute of some sort to it's just I can't imagine. Again, get the sentiment, make a patch.
Yeah,
make a patch, donate some money, be done with it.
Yeah,
do not this as a alternate jersey for an entire season.
No, and don't sell it to people either.
Especially when the anniversary of it isn't until next April.
Yeah.
You know, like the month where you play the least amount of your regular season games.
Yeah, it's just wrong. I'm sorry, it's just wrong, and it's bad enough that they did it, and it's even worse that you can go on the NBA's website or wherever and buy it. I mean, I don't know anybody would, but you can, and that to me is just so, I don't know, cynical, I guess is the word I'm looking for. It's just wrong in a million different directions, and you want to do like throw a nice patch. I don't know. When's the regular season end? I think by April 19th they'd still be playing unless they're in the playoffs. But
they're going to be wearing these things 10 times this year.
God almighty. No, sorry. Let's move on to the Blazers. I'm already pissed off enough.
They're they're wearing them, I would assume, for all their April home games, it looks like, because they're wearing them 4 times in April. They're wearing them on the road.
It's just it's such a calculated cash grab. I just can't get behind it.
So they don't wear them until January, and then they wear them at New York and at Washington. Oh my God!
You're going to wear them to New York and Washington?
Oh my God! You're wearing bombing?
Right? Exactly. Are you fucking kidding me with this?
Oh my God!
Why not stop in that place in Pennsylvania and just bring the team bus there and we'll stop and just walk around a little bit while we're there too. For fuck's sake! Are you kidding me with this?
That's terrible.
That is wow. It's just like it just keeps getting worse and worse. Sorry, that might be the biggest miss I've ever seen on a uniform. That is just so wrong in so many ways. All right.
Moving on to everything else. The Portland Trailblazers, it's 50 years of Portland Trailblazer basketball, so they have a new logo.
Did they and the Cavs come in the league at the same time?
I guess so.
I did not know that. I thought the Blazers were older than the Cavs. I had no idea.
In 1970.
No kidding. Okay. I didn't know that.
So they're going to be wearing a throwback to the 76-77 championship team.
That'll look good.
Looks like it did then. And then they have a new statement jersey, which is last year's statement jersey, but with more. So last year's statement jersey, it was red and then the traditional Blazers stripes, but all of them were varying shades of black and gray.
Yeah.
And then black words, black numbers, black trim. This year's jersey, it's a red jersey with the Blazers stripe down the side in varying shades of black and gray, except for the very top stripe, which is white. And then Portland is now in white, and the number is white with a black outline.
It's like
so it's the same jersey with some white added to it.
It looks like someone took like the graphic of the old jersey and just filled in select bits
right
white with the paint filling button.
Yep, exactly.
And then they're like, what about this?
From the most egregious, or not egregious, but one of the most disgusting uniforms that we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Tasteless uniforms in the Oklahoma one. This one is just like, how lazy can you be?
Right. I mean, at least put a little effort in, be consistent with the outline or something, for fuck's sake.
What is worse?
How would you feel if you bought the old one, though? Just out of curiosity.
Well, like we've already talked about some of these jerseys where they literally just flip the word marks. I think this is worse because it's the same thing with different colors on it.
Yeah, it's literally the same thing.
There are two people that bought jerseys a year apart,
no, there's
standing next to each other.
One more important thing: the new one has a sponsor on it. The old one doesn't.
Well, I think that's just the picture.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure had a sponsor, but
yeah, that's just like some lazy ass stuff right there, man.
Oh, and the word mark has no black outline, but the number does.
Right, that's what I'm saying. At least be consistent somewhere.
Well, no, that's
and the sponsor is white, but the Nike is still black.
Did anyone try?
Did
anyone try?
No, man. It's like you.
I guarantee when the design department was making these, they saved a file halfway through. And then they saved the final version, sent the final version in last year. And they were like, oh, man, we got to come up with a new jersey. And someone was going through old files and was like, what about this?
Yeah, here, this took me 2 minutes. Try this out. Oh, yeah, that'll work. Okay. Wow. What a scam.
Utah Jazz.
Yeah, here we go.
They're diving back into the 90s nostalgia. The Mountain jerseys are back.
Takes it back to Karl Malone and John Stockton.
John Stockton.
Don't like them now.
when I was an NJB player, I was a purple wearing Jazz guy. You know, the Jazz, the purple and the light blue. They're the cool thing that their social media department is doing, and I think all their stuff, their marketing, when they're wearing these jerseys and they're putting up like social media posts, they're using their 90s logo and the 90s logos of the teams they're playing.
So that's kind of cool.
So they're making it kind of consistent, which is neat. I love these things. I know they suck, but I love them. Karl Malone was my favorite player growing up, and this is what I remember him playing in. And I just they're gross, I know, but I love these like all white, like essentially like snow ice mountains. They're so good.
I'm with you 100% on this. I rooted for the Jazz in the 2 finals against the Bulls.
Yeah.
As futile as that was, I'm in the same headspace. I know these are bad. Do I want them to be full-time uniforms? No, but an alternate now and then, definitely.
Yeah, and you know what?
Seeing them again makes me smile.
I think that another thing with these two is we're seeing like basically they're not. I mean, I don't know what the second picture is. The first one's clearly like a drawing or something.
Yeah.
I think on the court they're going to look even better than they do here, and not that like I said, I wasn't a fan of them, but they're going to look pretty cool. I think on the court, I think they'll be all right.
They do look a little weird on the court because obviously the templates have changed over time.
Yeah.
So they don't the design, the graphics they don't fit the same on the front of the jersey as they did before. It doesn't look right, but it still looks good.
You have to remember that when these uniforms were first unveiled, it was the dark ages when we were still working with basketball uniforms that had seams.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Nike has liberated us from that.
Right.
And so it's not going to be a perfect fit.
And I believe that era was the jerseys and stuff were still mesh, right?
They were. Yeah.
Okay. So
no, now we've got space age fabrics that don't have seams, and it's made everyone 0.2% faster. So
I thought it was like 22% faster, which would be great.
Moving on, the Golden State Warriors. We've already talked about these a little bit. They tweaked the bridge slightly. They tweaked the font badly.
Yes,
it's the same white jersey they've been wearing, same blue jersey they've been wearing. The background is now blue instead of gold on the blue one. They're wearing their jersey that celebrates Oakland despite moving to San Francisco,
which is so stupid. Like, how? Who in Oakland is going to want this? Like,
it's like, how can you wear this in San Francisco and feel good about yourself?
Hey, Oakland, remember when we told you to fuck off and we moved to
this would be like
the bigger city across the bay?
This would be like the Ravens breaking out Browns throwbacks. Cleveland would be like, go fuck yourselves, you assholes.
No, I think it's slightly different just because it's like you can literally see one from the other. So
it's worse.
Yeah, it's worse.
Imagine the Brooklyn Nets still wearing like not New Jersey Nets throwbacks, but like current versions of the Nets jerseys that say New Jersey on the front.
Yeah.
Or the Garden State or something.
It's like so now. Oh, and by the way, they did tweak it slightly. They changed the collar from gold to blue. So
yeah,
good job there. But it's going to be so weird.
Yeah,
for the reasons you mentioned.
Well, it's dumb that they've even kept this because they are going to wear San Francisco throwbacks at some point, which both look great. And they're also bringing in a new yellow jersey that says the Bay. So you're trying to represent like 3 things at once, 2 specific places and then 1 bigger place. Let's try 4 places because you are the Golden State Warriors.
Right.
So you play some nondescript place in the state of California.
Oh, no, you play for all of California. You represent all of California.
Golden State University, Golden State College.
Even though there are there's 3 other teams in California?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter. They are the
one of them are the Clippers. They barely count, but they're there.
Right. So 2 other teams.
You play for Golden State College. You play for the San Francisco Bay. You play for Oakland, and you play for San Francisco.
I will say both of the throwbacks look nice, but then again, that's goes along with everything that we've been saying. The throwbacks look nice. I kind of like the 80s like vaporware aesthetic on the Bay logo.
What the fuck is that all about?
What? I like it.
I know, but it's like this is the first computer graphic we ever came up with.
I like it. All right, I like it.
I hate it.
Yeah, I'm like, this is like something that like in 1989 you're going, wow, that's really some serious computer stuff they got going on. Today you're looking at it going, okay, they made that in 1989.
Screw you guys, I dig it. All right, whatever.
That's fine. That's fine.
All right. Can we need to move on because I have a lot of words to say about the.
Oh yes, let's go.
What in God's name is that?
The Los Angeles Clippers. Good God.
The reinvention, Zach. Welcome to it.
So the Los Angeles Clippers alternate jerseys are all white. They have some black. They have a black collar. One armpit is red. The other armpit is blue. And they're still using the same gross agency-esque number font.
I'm pretty sure that's literally agency. I could open up Microsoft Word and confirm that. But
and then they're paired with this brand new word mark that is the Old English script Los Angeles with the loss on top of the Angeles. Looks similar to what you see on the LA Times. Looks similar to what you'd see tattooed on the chest of a Mexican gang member. And I know that might sound terrible, but that's just kind of what it is.
It's just becoming one of those episodes where
it's styled like, it's the other way to say it is anybody that's played Grand Theft Auto and you've seen Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
There you go. That's it. Yeah.
Good save, Zach. Good save.
Unfortunately, I couldn't do the same a couple hours ago, but yeah, nice save, Zach.
It's where you see it. I don't know. Anyway, as those that are members of the boards might have seen, I had a very long discussion with some on the board.
These are just fucking horrible. It's just, I don't even know. You want to say a lot of words about them. I just think there's like, these are terrible, and let's move on.
Yeah. First off, they're terrible. Second of all, good joke, Clippers. Like, you think that portion of Los Angeles, you want to represent that portion of Los Angeles. Do you think that portion of Los Angeles gives a goddamn about you? Do you think any part of Los Angeles on the whole gives a goddamn about you? Like, yes, you have Kawhi Leonard, you got Paul George, you're going to go win a title maybe, but this is so try hard. This rings so hollow. Like, the Clippers are not that they play in Los Angeles, but they are not this Los Angeles. They are the Clippers. They're the Clippers. Yep. They could be the Clippers forever. They can use the curly Q script. They can be blue and red. They can do all they can to be the Clippers, and that is fine. But don't pretend like you are
anything but what you are.
The deep gritty core of Los Angeles, because that paired with what they're doing to the court design this year, which is all black with the only things that are red and blue. There's the top of the free throw circle is red, the 3-point line is blue, and then the Staples Center logo, but that's not really up to them either. Everything else is black, and the end lines are trying to use this black and white map of Los Angeles. They're trying to brand themselves, against people keep saying that the Lakers are Hollywood. They're glitz and glamour. They're purple and gold. They're Brentwood. They're Hollywood. They're bright lights. Okay, sure, but because they're one of the winningest franchises in the NBA and the most recognizable team in the city of Los Angeles, they're the heartbeat of Los Angeles. No matter what you think you're trying to be, LA Clippers.
Here's the thing.
So,
here's the thing.
It's all a hollow attempt because you're not the gritty underbelly of Los Angeles. You're the fucking Clippers. You've been a laughingstock for 30 fucking years.
Oh, longer than that.
Here's the thing about the Clippers. All right. Here's the thing. There are some people, probably of questionable mental capabilities, but I won't get into that. But there are some people who desperately want to retroactively create a Hollywood versus South Central divide in LA basketball. People who want to pretend that the Clippers were always like the Compton and South Central team, and the Lakers were always the Hollywood team.
Watch Boys in the Hood and look at all the fucking Lakers gear and that and tell me that. Yeah.
That
exactly
is a lie. It has always been a lie. And you know why it's always been a lie? It's been a lie because you know what? Maybe that could have happened if when the Clippers first moved to LA in 84, I think, if they had any sense of marketing, if they had any sense of if they had someone with, their head on straight who could have reached out to these communities, who could have successfully branded them to them. No. I know they were run by a racist. I know.
No, forget all that. when they came to LA in 84, the Lakers were in a 5-title run. It didn't matter what the fuck these guys did. They weren't going to make any headway.
No, but I get Mike's point though, because the Lakers were high flying, and yes, they were playing in Inglewood, but the Clippers were moving into the sports arena, which is.
Yeah, but the Lakers, it was Kareem, it was Magic, it was Michael Cooper, it was like I don't care who the fuck you are.
I understand,
but
they could have tried to carve out an identity in the city.
That could have happened. I'm just saying, and my point is exactly that it didn't happen. Is that maybe at some point in the 80s, if the Clippers were owned by different people, then maybe they could have done that, but they didn't. And so, because they didn't, this whole thing where the Lakers are Hollywood and the Los Angeles Clippers are they're South Central. No, that never happened, to the point that when they moved out of the sports arena, which was in the vicinity of those neighborhoods, when they moved out of that and moved into the Staples Center, where they still are, they were an afterthought. Nobody gave a crap about them. They might have had a window in their history where they could have branded themselves as that, and they didn't. To the point that – and now, after how many years have they played at Staples? We're going on 20 years of them playing in Staples Center.
Yeah, Staples Center has been around for 20 years.
And so 20 years in the Staples Center, and only now, 20 years after moving away from that area of L.A., are people now retroactively pining for this division that never existed? And
the other part about it is, like, as much as anybody would want to make the Clippers that, people forget that the Lakers, and for all their showtime-ness and their high-flying and the gold and the purple and the movie stars at courtside, do people know where the fucking Forum is? Mm-hmm. It's in Inglewood. You can see Compton from the parking lot.
Well, not only
man.
And to go off what Greg said again, go back to watch Boys in the Hood and see, like, no, nobody gave a shit about it. And why would they? Why would they? Because and we've kind of touched on these jokes tonight. I don't know how many of them Greg edited out, but I'm just going to say, like,
my God,
basically a racist bunch of fuckers is what we are tonight.
I'm going to try to pull us around.
Land this plane, Mike.
Okay, you have a predominantly, low income Black Hispanic population.
Oh, and what I said was racist? Come on.
No. Just, okay. And the Clippers, a bunch of white guys running the Los Angeles Clippers marketing team, they're going to go to those people and say, hey, you should embrace the Clippers as your team because we came out with a jersey that has the San Andreas font on it.
Well, no. Not only that, but
these neighborhoods, people in those neighborhoods have been rooting for the Lakers since at least the 80s. At least the 80s.
Well, yeah.
And I got news for you. As a Chargers fan who's never once been to San Diego, but I'm a fan of theirs because my dad was there all the time, and he was one. This shit is generational. It passes down. All right. So you've got people. And again, you've got a neighborhood. You've got neighborhoods in South Central Compton, primarily Black, Latino, low income. It is what it is, and you're going to then have a bunch of white guys from the Clippers marketing team, and you think that they are going to convince them to start supporting the Clippers? It's absurd. It is absolutely absurd. And the only people who think that the Clippers can successfully carve out a street, identity for themselves in contrast to the Lakers, the only people who think that's actually possible are other white guys who don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
All the people that are trying to say that the Clippers can do this are people that don't live here.
I mean,
I just want to make
Zach, I don't live in L.A. I don't live in L.A., and I know this is a bad idea because when I saw this argument being put forth, I did some research. I was like, well, okay. The Clippers play in Staples Center. Okay, so they're obviously not in Compton or South Central LA. So then I thought, okay, well, let's see where their team offices are. So I went to the Clippers website and found their corporate offices, and I Google mapped that shit. It is within the direct sight line of the Walt Disney Theater. It's closer to Little Tokyo.
Yeah.
I just want to throw in one more thing here while we're talking about these idiots. When they first moved there, okay, they didn't they can try to retroactively do this shit. Whose logo did their logo look almost exactly like?
The Lakers.
The Lakers, right. So come on. I mean, really, and you want to win Los Angeles over Clippers, win 17 fucking titles. That'll do it. Until then, shut up and go away. Move back to fucking San Diego.
That's what I'm saying. They're never – the Lakers own Los Angeles.
These guys are irrelevant, for fuck's sake. I mean, come on.
For the Clippers to just be the Clippers, go all in on a nautical theme.
Right.
Lean back into the Clipper ship thing. Lean into some sort of ocean. Use the blue. Use all that shit. The best the Clippers have looked since they moved to L.A. was that light blue alternate they had with Chris Paul with the Los Angeles script on the front and the flags down the side of the shorts.
As far as I am aware, every time that they have gone to the powder blue Nautica theme, it's been positively received.
Well, and look, I mean, all this aside, they're the Clippers, all right? Well, the Lakers have, 17 titles?
17
titles. The Clippers are known for flaming out in spectacular fucking fashion in series they're supposed to win.
Let me just say one more thing, and then we can move on from this disaster. I'm actually going to quote I'm going to paraphrase, because I can't remember the exact wording. I'm going to paraphrase a member of the Kramer boards, DG Now, who actually said something very poignant about this, and this ties into everything that we've been saying, which is that, this whole Paul George, Kawhi reinvention of the Los Angeles Clippers is going to end with a lot of trendy white guys wearing faux throwback gear for a Clippers brand that never existed.
Exactly. That is well said, DG. And I don't compliment you often, but you hit that one right on the head.
Yeah, because there's just two more things, and then we can go on. So when they released these jerseys, they made hats, right? That have this font, and then it said Clippers. And then they put the current logo they have, that stupid LAC thing.
Oh,
why are they still with – you would have thought by now they would have moved on.
But they put those two things together, and it's those two things don't go together. They don't.
No, it's like I mean, and again, I don't want to use the stereotype, but it's like a gang member going on The Price is Right. That's what it fucking looks like if you put them together.
The problem with it is, you've got this San Andreas style Los Angeles font, which, you know, leans into the whole, like, kind of old English. It's very a lot of exaggerated surfs and angles.
Yeah.
And then you've got it against this, like, really clean, almost sterile LAC logo. No, it doesn't work. And it doesn't even work on the jerseys because they've paired their agency number font with it. So it just looks bad. It's just stupid. It's dumb. And if someone who's never even, you know, been to LA can fucking Google this shit, Google Maps this, and figure out that this team in no way represents, you know, South Central or Compton, then, you know, come on.
Well, anyway, let's move. So they're also doing a Braves throwback, which looks okay.
Yeah, just the quotes to sum the whole argument up. Before the Lakers Clippers season opener, I was listening to LA Sports Talk Radio, and they had a national NBA reporter on, and they asked an interesting question that kind of made a point. The Clippers are popular nationally right now because of Kawhi and Paul George and all that.
Sure.
They're very interesting. They're a popular team nationally, but they are irrelevant in Los Angeles.
Right. Yeah. I don't know how else to put it. Yeah. And DG nailed it.
They're a bigger deal in Wyoming than they are in LA.
Yeah. And like no one lives in Wyoming, so it's a big fucking deal. I'm sorry, Wyoming listener.
Anyway, and then one more actual design thing. So because they're going with this all black and white court, opening night, they're playing the Lakers. The Clippers are wearing all blue. The Clippers are wearing all yellow on a court that is primarily black and white. It didn't look like Clippers home game in any sort of fashion. It looked
it didn't sound like a Clippers home game, all right?
No, it would not. But yeah, and then like Greg said, they're wearing a Buffalo Braves alternate. So.
Which I really think they should go with the old powder blue with just the white Braves across the front. That would look, I mean, this is okay, but let's bring that one back too. All right, on to the actual team from Los Angeles.
Yeah, the Los Angeles Lakers, nothing new, really. There's this post about a possible city alternate, which will be gold with white Lakers and white numbers as opposed to the regular home that they have now, which is gold with purple Lakers and purple numbers. I don't know. They're still using the dumb black paneled alternates. And the post here on UniWatch also notes that the team seems to be dialing back its use of purple based on some observation of fans, and I've noticed it too, and I hate it.
Come on. They can't do that.
They'll be wearing purple at home and then gold on the road, and it's like it's upside down. It makes no sense. Like, I'm sure, honestly, you know what? I'm sure Montreal Canadiens fans might have felt like this at some point because for years, like, you attribute the Canadiens with the red jerseys with the blue stripe on the front.
Mm-hmm.
But until the NHL flopped the home and road designation, they were always wearing white at home, and those are classic too. But it's
not the primary Canadiens look.
Yeah, and so it's different because the Lakers have been wearing these as home jerseys for ever.
Yeah.
So it's weird that they're not wearing them a whole lot at home.
At least they got rid of the Magic Johnson alternate that was.
Yeah, I thought there was talk that they were going to do another one that was going to be. Who was it going to be inspired by? Not Kobe. Was it supposed to be James Worthy? I thought was the next guy. I don't know. But
what about the guy who was in the league logo at Jerry West? Is that
Jerry
who?
West?
Oh, maybe I don't know. Maybe the league's all-time leading scorer, number 33. You guys have heard of him, I'm sure, right?
Yeah. There's plenty of guys to pick from.
Or how about the Clipper?
Or
how about the Clipper? Oh, sorry. How about the Lakers? Don't do anything like that and just have a gold jersey and a purple jersey and call it a day.
I am all for
with no black.
I am all for that.
Occasionally throw in the white jersey.
I'm all for that.
Moving on to the Phoenix Suns, orange jersey with the basketball Sun logo on the front.
Yeah.
Okay.
These guys used to have such a great look. It was simple.
The Charles Barkley 90s look was pretty good. Yeah.
That one was all right, and then even before that. But I think they're another team, a good example of any look prior to like the last couple would have been fine.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
The Suns are a case of where they started tinkering too much. Like in my opinion, and I've said this before that a lot of the '90s looks aren't really good. Even as someone who grew up with them, who was like in the target demo for them, like the Suns' '90s uniforms, in my opinion, are so good that they could come back and work now. And then they started tinkering with them in the 2000s, and they just got worse. That being said, I kind of like this orange one.
Yeah.
This one?
The Sun.
Like this one.
I don't care. Like as we mentioned before,
The center
logos
logo.
aren't on the front. Yeah, logos on the front are bad.
That thing works best like when it was on the shorts back in the old days, and then the way they did it in the Barkley era. But
yeah, it does not work as a standalone representation of like where the word mark should be.
They are
because these look like practice uniforms.
Yeah, and they are so far off the reservation of where they should be right now. It's not even funny because, like Mike said, they tinkered themselves into oblivion, basically. Like they couldn't leave it alone. It's like, just stop.
I know Nike doesn't like to go back to old designs or whatever, but honestly, someone in charge of the Suns needs to just go, look, we're just gonna wear the Barkley uniforms from now until the end of time.
Or even
honestly,
yeah, if that doesn't work for you, just like tighten them up a little bit or whatever. But this is just they're just like they've gotten to the point now where it's just ridiculous. But yeah, I'm not crazy about this. I've always loved the basketball and the Sun logo, but not in this application. No.
Yeah. Next is the Sacramento Kings wearing throwbacks. They're blue with the white Kings script with the little crown over the eye.
I like those, actually.
Yeah.
This is going back to like the Kansas City Omaha Kings, which when they used to play. Can you imagine that? Half your home games are in Kansas City, the other half in Omaha. It's not like those two are right next door to each other.
What a life.
Yeah. They were called the Kansas City Omaha Kings for a couple of years. Maybe it was only a year or two, but I don't remember how long. But yeah,
this is their 35th year in San Francisco or in Sacramento, so they have they're honoring that. And apparently, there was a huge controversy with their original 35-year Roundel logo. As you'll note, the apostrophes were applied incorrectly on the year. They were backwards.
I hope they. Oh, I can see they fixed it. All right. Thank God. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
For all you grammar nerds in the audience, the apostrophe. So they have a roundel, and on either side it says 85 and 20. So saying 1985 and 2020. And as you do when you're abbreviating years to just back in 94, you put an apostrophe. Well, they had it where the apostrophe was up there, but the way it was originally applied, it's actually a single quotation mark.
Right.
the fat where the dot part is on the bottom, and they have since corrected it where the dot part is on the top, and it is correctly an apostrophe.
Thank God this was caught in time. Imagine if children bought gear with the incorrect version.
I'm more worried about it would have gone up for 75 pages on the board, so I'm glad they fixed it. Or we'd still be fucking arguing about it.
Yeah,
it's correct apostrophe.
Brian in Boston would have chimed in with some excerpt from some Old English book to explain the origins of the apostrophe, and it would have gone on. I do want to take this opportunity because we're probably never going to talk about the Sacramento Kings after this ever again. Because seriously, but I have
that's an appropriate response.
Yeah,
I have recently been informed by BuckFan56, who is a listener to the show. Shout out there. He informed me that when the Kings first moved to Sacramento in 85, that they actually played in a converted office building.
Nice.
I think it was called Avco 1.
Avco, yeah, right, yeah.
The Avco 1 building was the Avco 1 arena for the Kings was just when the Kings moved out, it was reconverted into an office park and was used as a Sprint.
You're thinking
building.
Arco Arena, yeah.
Arco Arena, that's it, Arco Arena, right, exactly.
Have you ever seen this thing, Mike?
I have. It's brilliant. I love it. It's my new favorite thing.
It's so good in terms of how bad it is.
Okay, so I'm gonna share the picture of it.
It literally looks like an office building.
This was an NBA arena.
Guys, I remember Arco Arena. Come on,
look at that. It looks. This looks like where you. This looks like where you pull up to get your driver's license.
It's this nondescript, kind of not because they dug down to build it, so it's not very tall.
Right,
but it's beige. It's
like a bank office building is what it looks like. Yeah.
And the thing about it is, it's not just the building itself. It's the parking lots around it. It isn't it's not like a traditional parking lot. It's laid out with like trees and medians and roundabouts.
This does not look like the parking lot of a sports arena. This looks like
when you walked in the front door, they were like, "Are you here to open an account, or would you like to go to the basketball game?" That's what it looks like.
By the way, here's a gallery of shots of the arena, and you've got a few shots on the outside, but it's also.
I love these ones that if you can find the ones that are from far away, like that are aerial shots where you can see everything else around it, which is nothing.
It's just but I really love the shots of it's a very intimate arena, and if you scroll through the gallery that I posted, there are one or two photographs of the concourse, and it's amazing because you basically had an office building that you had to gut and put an arena in, and then like the space around the side that was left was where you could fit like concessions.
But you know what? I'm going to give them some props, though, because they did a good job of converting that bank into an arena. I mean, is it perfect? No, but they did a pretty solid job with it, really.
And then if you actually go through this photo gallery, eventually there are just pictures of it as a Sprint office building. Like it just became one, and apparently now it's a it's like a building for like some California state government department. And they've even got a plaque on it, basically to go, just so you guys know, this was actually a basketball arena once.
This was home to the NBA's Sacramento Kings.
Hey Zach, how do you like that press box? Do you see it?
I didn't click through it all the way. No,
it's about
the press box is amazing.
The press box is the best thing about it. I mean, it's literally a box.
It's just it's like a box just hanging off to the side somewhere. That's where they could fit it.
Oh, the Sacramento Kings.
What about that press box? That is the best thing ever.
Part of me wishes they still played there. Like, I mean,
I love just the shots down these hallways. They're clearly like you said, they're hallways between office buildings.
Yo, exactly. They're hallways between office buildings, but no, this is the concourse. All right,
it's like you walk in. There's no nobody has like a sponsorship outside. Maybe the biggest company in the building that's why it's Arco, because they have like the most offices there. And you go in and there's a directory, and it's like, oh, I got to go to the doctor's office on floor 3. It's right next to the insurance agency.
Here's a great shot of the press box, Zach. You got to see this. This is awesome.
I clicked through. I found it.
This is the best look at it right here. Look at that.
Like I imagine it's like you go. It's like you get lost going in. You got your ticket, and it's like, oh, I got to find my seats. And it's like you walk through a hallway of like an office, and you look down. You look at, and people are going on about TPS reports. So there's like a picture on the wall of like an eagle flying over a rainbow that says like Aspire. and it's like oh no, it's like no. This is accounting. A few doors down, that'll get you to your seats at the basketball.
Like I said, you go into the front desk and they go, "Are you here to open an account, or do you want to go to the basketball game?" And you make your decision. I think I'm going to open an account.
So this is kind of like too. I mean, you'll know this, Mike. The Ottawa Senators' first 2 years in the league.
Oh yeah,
where they played at
the minor league. Yeah,
yeah, they played like this convention center or whatever. Yeah. And I'll find some photos and show you that, but it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, the Ottawa Senators for the first. Yeah, okay. So here it is. This is great. Keep in mind, this is a shot of. No, that's not from the Ottawa Senators. This is okay. So TD Place Arena. This is a shot. This is from a convention center in Ottawa that was being built while their current arena was being made. It's the Civic Center. Greg, this is an NHL game.
My God, the Toledo Gold Diggers played in a bigger arena than that. Come on.
Yeah. There's some. I gotta find. There's some other shots that are just like, really.
I'm not kidding you guys. The arena the Gold Diggers played in is probably twice the size of that.
Here's what I wanted. This is the angle.
Here's the exterior of it.
No, Greg. Here's let me get it. This is what it looks like from the end zones. Or did I didn't copy that right. Hold on. I'm so excited to show you this that I'm fumbling over my keys. There we go.
Oh my God!
Amazing.
Look at that thing.
NHL
NHL played there. I mean, it's there's that, and then there's the Lightning, but not when they played at the Thunderdome, but when they played at like an exhibition hall.
Oh no! I drive by that I drive by that like maybe twice a week now. It's the state fairgrounds. Like,
I would dig the shit out of going to a
Tampa.
game at this, like an actual NHL game in a place that small would be really fun. I think.
Just outside of Tampa, there's a Florida State Fairgrounds, and there is an exposition center where you currently just you go to do state fair shit. But for like the Lightning's first season, that's where they played hockey, and it's absurd.
All right, let's move it along, boys.
Let's back to the NBA. We'll move to the Southwest Division. The Dallas Mavericks, they have a new statement jersey. It's navy and says Mavericks on the front in the same font they've had for 20 years.
Which is looking dated, and they need to get rid of it.
Yeah.
I think you should go back to the old green, white, and blue look they used to have back in the days when they lose to the Lakers every year. That was pretty good.
I can't tell you how long it took me to realize what the Mavericks logo actually was when I was younger. I had no idea that there was, like, first of all, I didn't know what their logo was. And then when I saw it, I'm like, what the hell? Is that a horse? I don't understand. I don't know what a horse has to do with a Maverick, but.
Well, he's got an M on his forehead. That's why.
Oh, sure.
That's it.
The cool thing they've added to the court this year is a silhouette of Dirk Nowitzki performing a fall-away jumper. So
yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, it's not like he's dead yet. Next up, the Houston Rockets. We touched on these, I thought.
Yeah, these we did talk about, yes.
Just bland as all hell.
Yep. Yeah, because we went on and on about how they should go back to the throwbacks.
Which actually look nice. The best part about this set for the Rockets is, again, it's the championship era throwback.
Yep, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And their stupid planet logo.
Yeah, the stupid planet logo. Next up, the Memphis Grizzlies, who are celebrating their 25th season as a franchise.
God damn, am I old.
And we're getting the Vancouver Grizzlies jerseys.
Okay.
See, again, I love these things.
Hold on. We got to. Oh.
Is that the Lightning?
Yeah, it's the Lightning playing at the State Fair. Which, by the way, I love how one end they just don't have seats.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
They just don't have seats, but they did put up like a small little banner with the logo on it.
And
And again,
a giant Canadian flag.
This looks like the arena that Bowling Green State University plays basketball in, where it doesn't have seats at one end. It's just a wall. And it holds about 6,000 people, maybe, if that. That's what it reminds me of looking at it. But, oh, my God. We should do a whole show on, like, fucked up arenas and stadiums teams have played, and that would be fun.
The San Jose Cow Palace. But, yeah, the Vancouver Grizzlies uniforms, 90s greatness. I love the Pacific Northwest native trim.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
You know, the logo, you could give or take, but I love the teal and I love the trim, and they're perfect. I love those things.
And then we get to the next ones.
It's pretty cool, and I have to give them props. Like, they could have easily done a lame thing and substituted out the Vancouver script for Memphis, but no, they kept it. So
yeah, nice touch.
So. And those are being worn this season, but they also unveiled their alternate jerseys for next season already.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Which will be it'll be their 20th season in Memphis. They're throwbacks to that first season of Memphis. They're the black jerseys with the teal and red accents and a big bold Memphis on the front. So it's
I think that those always felt like they just took their last Vancouver era set and just replaced the.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And then to go along with the Grizzly throwbacks, they have the proper court with it, which is good.
Oh,
It'll be
cool.
it is kind of weird that it'll say Memphis Grizzlies with all this Pacific Northwest imagery around it, but I applaud the Grizzlies for not shunting away from their roots.
Their Vancouver heritage.
Yeah. They were only in Vancouver for what, 5 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't very long.
I really don't think that's long enough to judge a team on, but
See, I think Vancouver would be a good market for a lot of, we talk about baseball relocation. That'd be my first choice would be Vancouver, but whatever.
Yeah. Totally.
Anyway, yeah, but,
for basketball. Next up, New Orleans Pelicans, red jerseys, gold accents that say NOLA on the front. Again, not a different design overall than what we've seen from them before, just different placing of colors.
I want to see the Pelicans wear New Orleans Hornets throwbacks against the Charlotte Hornets wearing Charlotte Bobcats throwbacks. Just to really fuck with everyone.
Yeah, I think my head would explode if they did that. I'd be like, okay, I'm completely fucking lost now.
Who did Muggsy Bogues play for? That's all I want to know.
Technically New Orleans, right?
Actually,
no.
Well, I mean, he played in Charlotte, but
New Orleans, but technically Charlotte.
Yeah, I mean, he played like if you're talking franchise with a clear historical line.
Yeah,
he would be the franchise he played for is New Orleans. Now,
yes, but they sent that history to the Bobcats.
I know they FedExed it back over. I don't know how you do that.
So,
well, I mean, it's like this is harder to follow than the Browns Ravens thing, which is pretty simple, but it's stupid, but simple.
The Browns, it would be like if the Baltimore Browns played for like 2 years before having to become the Ravens, and then like the Cleveland Browns, and then like the Cleveland Bulldogs became the Browns.
Right? Yeah, that's what I mean. This is way more screwed up than that. And finally,
we get the San Antonio Spurs, who aren't doing anything different at all. They just changed the logo a little bit on their
which
shorts.
Honestly looks better because that
the SA one sucked.
Yeah.
Last thing overall, if you scroll down to the bottom of the article here. There's a new trademark application in for a variation on the NBA league logo.
Ooh.
Some strange differences where the shorts seem to be made a little bit baggier at the edges, as is the shoulder, and there's less of a noticeable hair part on top of the head. So looking less like Jerry West and more generic, slightly modernized basketball player.
Yeah, I guess. Most people wouldn't even notice the difference.
Of course not, but that's not who we talk to.
No, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. Geez, man, that NBA logo is so iconic. I don't know if you even mess with that. But then the NFL's done it 3 times, and then no big deal. So
the NFL's done it. The NHL's done it. MLS did it.
The NHL,
MLB.
The NHL was the dumbest.
Yeah.
The NHL was the dumbest when they just decided, like, we're going to move the letters moving upwards so it, symbolizes our ascent.
Yes. Yeah, I think the current MLB logo wasn't – I mean, I want to say they started using it in the late 60s. It might have been even like the 69 season when they were celebrating – was it their 100th anniversary, I think? Yeah. I'm not sure on that.
They technically changed the MLB logo this year.
Yeah, but I'm saying that the one that we're all familiar with.
They replaced the royal blue with navy.
Really?
Yeah, this season. By the way, the old MLB logo is fantastic. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the old MLB logo.
Yeah, I want to say they went from that to the one we're all familiar with in 1969. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that's when they changed over.
Oh, geez. Baseball.
Yeah, right? Thank you for that, guys. We would have never guessed. Is that a tennis ball? I don't get it. Anyway, well, real quick, so predictions on who's going to win it all, just for the fun of it.
The Los Angeles Lakers, because they have to.
Yeah.
And I think they early on they've shown that maybe they have a little bit more issues than we were willing to admit, but I still think that they're better. They're better. The Clippers are going to falter, and who else? The Clippers are going to falter. Golden State doesn't look like the same Golden State that we've known, and I think that Houston experiment is going to blow up at some point. But
Charles Barkley told Klay Thompson, like, you guys are done. You're not even going to make the playoffs this year. So I thought it was funny.
I think that might be a bit extreme.
But I'm gonna go off the reservation a little here. I'm going to call for a Sixers-Nuggets finals.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. And the Sixers will win.
Huh?
First time since 1983. And only, Yeah, I don't know how many they've won, but that'll be their second one that I know of.
We the North, repeat. Let's do it.
Okay.
You've already won one, and you're already going back for more, huh?
It's insatiable. It's the hunger.
Mike, take it from somebody who knows it's a little tougher to do when your superstar player leaves. I can tell you that from experience.
Look. It doesn't matter. The Toronto Raptors won an NBA championship before the Los Angeles Clippers. So
did the Cleveland Cavaliers, for God's sakes.
Yeah, so fuck you, Clippers. Kind of continuing on from that discussion. No, seriously, the Raptors could never win another game and I'd be happy. Like, I saw the Raptors win a championship. That's kind of how I feel
about the Cavs. I mean, I'm not even really a Cavs fan. I've been a Lakers fan like my whole life, basically. Whenever Kareem got traded there. I don't remember when that was, 77, I think. But like after the Cavs, I'm like, dude, I don't care if you win 5 games next year. You know, I saw what I wanted to see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. That's honestly where I'm at. But if you're asking for who I think is actually going to win, you mentioned Kareem. I think it's going to be the Bucks.
Oh, good call. Could be.
I think like you saw what happened last year, where the Bucks had a 2-0 lead over the Raptors, and the Raptors came back. I think that the Bucks are still a very talented team, and I think that collapse was primarily due to them, again, it was a young team. And, the Raptors had never gone that deep before either, but they had players like Kawhi who had been there before who could, help the team through it. The Bucks, I think now that they've got they had a very good season. They got that under their belt. They have that deep playoff run experience. I think they're going to make it back to the Eastern Conference Finals, and honestly, I think they're going to win. I think that they're going to punch that ticket, and I think that they've got the talent necessary. I think, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just go for an all-Kareem NBA Finals. It's going to be Bucks Lakers.
Fine by me. And God knows the Bucks have the ugly enough jerseys to win it. So there you go. That seems to be the thing these days.
Yeah, you only get to win the NBA championship these days if you wear like your ugliest jersey.
Right, so. And the Bucks certainly have plenty of candidates for that. All right. On that note, folks, that is our unconventional NBA preview. I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports. Subscribe via iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, and YouTube. If you go to iTunes and give us a like, give us a review. If you don't want to use a lot of data on your phone, use the Stitcher app. I found out that they are the least data hungry of the apps that you can listen to the show on your phone and all that and all other stuff.
Still waiting for a Tostino's sponsorship, by the way.
That's right. Totino's, where the hell are you? But of course, after some of the jokes we've made tonight, no one's going to touch us. So
I don't know. Can Totino's really go any lower than where they're at?
Well, yeah, I think so. But anyway, on that note, we will see you all again next time. Thanks for tuning in, and that's it.